UN when he speaks at the UN.
But he speaks genocide to his people and supports Hezbollah.
What is Hezbollah?
Hezbollah is a terrorist group that is controlled by Iran. They have thousands of missiles in Lebanon ready to fire at Israel.
President Obama needs to talk with Ahmadinejad and make peace with the terrorists.
But these terrorists have repeatedly vowed to destroy the West. What part of this do you not understand?
You are a warmonger. The terrorists are defending themselves from the Islamophobes and imperialist America.
No, I'm not. You are a nutcase. I'm trying to describe the facts to you, and you repeatedly demonize America. What is wrong with you?
That is what MoveOn.org says, and what I learned on The View and The Rachel Maddow Show.
Those organizations are invested in socialism, controlling every aspect of our lives, and weakening America's role as superpower.
We are citizens of the world. All cultures are equal. We should embrace everyone and adhere to one central governing body. America is too greedy and decadent.
Do you ever think about the consequences of your beliefs? Don't you realize that America has provided more advancements, freedom, wealth, and security for most of the world than any country in the world's history?
The right-wingers are the problem. That is what Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow tell me. Right-wingers are too greedy, and they listen to Fox News. They hate gays.
Right-wingers that you speak of are for capitalism and creating wealth, not destroying wealth and stealing from people to give to others. I'm just against gay marriage. I do not hate gays. Many Islamic countries routinely kill gay people just for being gay.
I don't care. Islam is a religion of peace. You are a bigot and extremist. We should welcome everyone into our country.
But don't you think we need secure borders so that not just anyone can come into the country unchecked?
The Mexicans do the work that Americans won't.
I never spoke about Mexicans.
You must be racist against Mexicans. They are hard workers and need rights.
No, I'm talking about the need to secure our borders from any type of infiltration and illegal entry. A nation without borders will soon cease to exist.
America depends on the workers from Mexico.
That is not true. Illegal immigrants have taken jobs away from millions of Americans and compete with poor Americans for jobs. Illegal immigrants are a severe drain on our country's social policies, schools, and hospitals. They also cause many crimes and introduce third-world diseases into the country. The Mexican drug cartels have spilled over into our country.
No. I don't care. We should welcome all the poor, hungry, and needy. For this is America, and we have an obligation to provide them with jobs and free medical care.
But those policies are not sustainable. California is bankrupt. Arizona is currently in a crisis.
No. You hate immigrants. Your right-wingers are ignorant Bible-thumping Christian fundamentalists.
I'm trying to describe the issues with you. Why do you continue to level personal attacks against me while avoiding the issues?
I am a liberal. I like TV.
Don't you know what is going on in the world?
Dancing with the Stars is coming out with a new episode. I like Obama. He will save us from this mess that Bush caused.
You are a complete moron with no hint of a rational thought in your whole body. Your mind is so fried from the drugs you did when you were a hippie that you are now incapable of reasoning or drawing a rational conclusion from the facts. You are only interested in entertainment and are so buried in your own narcissism that you shun the truths of the world to fuel your own self-righteous attitude of condescension against perceived enemies of goodness pervaded by the deceitful neo-Marxists who seek to take control over every aspect of your life and render you a slave to the state. You are the sheeple who allowed people like Obama to become elected. May you never reproduce, vote, or influence any citizen of your quackery, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I am a teacher. I teach political science at Berkeley.
This, in a nutshell, is what's wrong with America. The more people who are brainwashed by the left's lies, the more trouble we will be in, and the less likely we will be to get America back on the right track. Liberalism is indeed a mental disorder.
Wow, what did you think? I listened to that and I just thought, my, I just don't think I've seen anything or listened to anything. It's a video that you'll watch on the website. I don't think I've seen anything that probably explains a liberal any better than that little discourse. I hope everybody listened to that very, very closely. It's one of those things where, man, where do you start? Where do you start? When you try to talk to a liberal, and one of the reasons I did this is because every night I go to bed, and maybe this is the reason I'm single. I go to bed and I have DVR'd O'Reilly and Hannity and Greta and sometimes Beck. I usually get to Beck earlier in the day, and Cavuto and Shepard Smith and these guys, and I listen to what they have to say, and they'll bring these liberals on to talk, and it is so hard to do a conversation. I'm not the only one here. I mean, you folks out there have got to have listened at some point. You have to have listened to one of these shows and felt like picking up a shoe and throwing it at the TV. And by the way, with most of these TVs now, the flat screen, the high definition, all this stuff, it's probably not best to throw a shoe at. You can bounce a shoe or two off an old tube type TV, but these things aren't as easy. They don't take shoes quite as well. But you sit back and you listen, and you listen to an interview. Now, we know the interviewers are from the right. We know that the interviewee is from the left. We know that the questions that are going to come out are going to be pretty legitimate questions. And hopefully the questions are going to come out, or the statements are going to come out to form a question, are not going to be leaning too far one way or the other. I think O'Reilly's softer than he used to be, but he still makes good points. I don't know if he's just gotten so many millions of people listening to him, he doesn't want to lose his edge. But you take Beck, he's a little more controversial. He takes a little more stand, and his questions are a little more direct. But you've got all this, and you watch a reasonable question being asked, and all of a sudden, you listen to the answer, and it bears absolutely no reflection of the question at all. I have sat and watched these liberals take Barney Frank earlier when we were talking about, when we did the clip on estate taxes. Barney Frank pulled out the first little sentence of this lady's question, and that made him miss the real context of the question. And he harped on that with her going, okay, but the question's really this. He doesn't care. That's the reason one of the first things that this little cartoon said was, I don't care. We need hope and change. Do you realize that Barack Obama was elected on nothing more than rhetoric of hope and change? He didn't tell us what that hope and change was. He wants a safer world. He goes to Europe and announces that he wants to get rid of all the nuclear weapons. Now, that sets the context of the way he feels. But in order to get the START Treaty passed, he picked out and basically went back on the things that he said. And if you don't get the real meaning and understanding out of these questions, you're going to sit and say, President Obama, no, we're not going to have any reduction in our defense capabilities. Bull. We're going to have a lot of them. But when you start talking to a liberal, and I tried to write down as many of these things as I could, I don't care. I want hope and change. That's not an answer to a legitimate question, and I get so tired of listening to these people talk. And selling life insurance, I never really did it this way because I just didn't think it was the right way to do it. But it's they teach it. It's called non sequitur, and what it does is it basically teaches you how to deflect the question, raise the question the way the question you want to answer, and then answer that question. Well, that's great. That's the reason it's so hard for me to talk to a liberal, because they answer their own questions, leaving you out after they have basically said, I don't care about all that. This is the important thing. For some reason, when you start dealing with a liberal, if they don't want religion to be important, but being multicultural is very important. Just like on Tuesday's show when we talked about the attorneys in Switzerland for fish, because an attorney was suing a fisherman because the fish was on the hook and it took 10 seconds more than what the attorney felt like it should to reel the fish in. Liberals are so concerned about being multicultural and anti-religion and anti-country that you start getting those kinds of answers. When you start talking to a liberal, you must be a bigot. You're a hate monger. You should be banned. These are a couple of phrases I got from this little audio. And this is what they do. When they were losing badly in the election, the polls were going against them, our president accused basically Chamber of Commerce of being bigoted and hate mongers, and they should be banned from doing anything because we as liberals were losing. These guys must be breaking the law and doing something wrong. I'm so tired of being told that because I am a conservative, that I am a hate monger and a bigot because I am not gay. I'm so tired of every gay person. Oh boy, you better say something quick after that, or boy, there's a good sound bite for somebody. I'm so tired of gay people saying that, I can't listen to this guy or that guy because, they're hate mongers because they don't like gays. Okay. Barney Frank's gay. I don't like Barney Frank. Now, in their minds, because I don't like Barney Frank and he's gay, I must not like gays. That's not true. I don't like Barney Frank because he's a putz. And he screwed this country into the ground. He's gay. Okay. I don't like him because he's a putz. And then there is the, I don't care what you got to say, you're a warmonger. Oh, okay. So what we're basically saying is that if you are trying to talk